Scary phobias you might have. Phobias can take many forms. There's a huge list of phobias, and there's an unlimited number of things and situations that can trigger them. On the other hand, certain truly terrifying phobias can ruin a person's life. To put it simply, phobias aren't like other kinds of anxieties. The distress they cause can seriously disrupt a person's daily life. Let's examine some terrifying fears, shall we? Hemophobia. Feeling nauseous or worried when you see blood? Perhaps the idea of undergoing blood-related medical procedures makes you feel queasy. Hemophobia refers to an unreasonable fear of blood. Hemophobia is a severe dislike of the sight of blood or the fear of injections or other procedures that might entail blood. If you avoid necessary medical checkups due to your fear of needles, your phobia can have a devastating effect on your life. Taphophobia. Many people have a persistent anxiety about waking up alive in a morgue or even worse, a casket. An actual word, taphophobia, describes this condition. The writings of popular authors like Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote, "No event is so tragically well adapted to inspire the supremeness of physical and mental misery as his burial before death." Claustrophobia. A fear of enclosed environments, or claustrophobia. Many environments and triggers can bring it on, including overcrowded elevators, rooms with no windows, and hotel rooms with their doors and windows sealed shut. A person with claustrophobia may react to even a locked bedroom door, a cramped automobile, a cramped airplane seat, or a choker necklace. It is commonly categorized as an anxiety disorder and is categorized by episodes of intense fear and terror. There are several theories as to what causes claustrophobia to develop, including a diminished amygdala and the influence of classical training. Pediophobia. If you've ever watched the horror film Chucky, you undoubtedly have a different opinion about dolls now. Horror movie fans may find dolls unsettling, but in real life, most people don't think a doll might hurt them. Some people, however, have an extremely illogical phobia of dolls. This phobia, known as Pediophobia, can be sparked by anything scary, including movies, books, or television shows. Hollywood has a healthy phobia of robots, dolls, and mannequins because they resemble humans. It's not too dissimilar from a phobia of kids, and it's usually sparked by a horrific incident. Nyctophobia. Fear of the dark is a common childhood anxiety disorder that affects the vast majority of people. A phobia is a fear that lasts into adulthood. Fear results from the mind's irrational preoccupation with all the unknowns lurking within the shadows. Fear of the dark is known as Chaetophobia, fear of darkness, or Globophobia by healthcare professionals. Nyctophobia is an extreme irrational fear of the night or the darkness. People with severe nyctophobia may avoid situations where there is not enough light if they do not receive treatment. After the sun goes down, they may choose to stay indoors and avoid any activities that might force them out into the dark. Anthropophobia. To be afflicted with anthropophobia, it's to have an irrational, unfounded fear of other people in any setting. In a crowded bus, even a stranger poses less of a threat than a member of your own family, even though you know them to be friendly and loving. This one would cause major disruptions in one's regular life. The extent to which a person with this phobia feels shy can range from being mildly hesitant to completely unable to speak in public. An individual with severe anthropophobia may isolate themselves, opting instead to communicate with others via mail or technological methods. Globophobia. A severe, crippling, and irrational aversion to balloons is called globophobia. Extreme distress is experienced at the mere thought, sight, sound, touch, or smell of balloons, and this phobia is rather common. However, for some people, the only thing they are afraid of is the sound of a balloon popping, and they nonetheless suffer from globophobia. Some people who suffer from globophobia are terrified of every single one of these balloons, while others' fears are more narrowly focused on one particular style. Many young children overcome their fear of balloons by the time they reach adolescence, but many others continue to suffer from this phobia well into adulthood. Others, however, never get over their fear of balloons and live their whole lives plagued by Globophobia. Adults are not immune to developing a fear like this later in life. They might avoid events where balloons or balloon animals might be present, like restaurants, fairs, and farms that cater to families with young children, or where birthdays or anniversaries are celebrated. Chaetophobia. While the vast majority of people invest time and resources into maintaining and improving their hair, those who suffer from chaetophobia avoid all contact with hair at all costs. Most people and certain animals are terrified of other people's hair. Some people have a phobia of people with afro-style or curly hair, which is called chaetophobia. Others are simply unnerved by the chance of stepping on someone's hair and thus avoid places like barbershops and salons. Extreme fear and anxiety are experienced by those who suffer from chaetophobia. They feel certain that they're going to be damaged by it, if they even come into contact with hair. Taphophobia. We can all relate to the terror of common phobias like spiders, heights, and scary clowns, even if we don't personally suffer from any of them. And then there's the fear of the number 13. It's simply a number, but it's been the subject of numerous horror films. There are structures with no 13th floor on purpose, and many engaged couples try to avoid getting married on the 13th of the month. Fear of the number 13 is known as Taphophobia, and while it's very uncommon, roughly 9 to 10% of Americans report feeling uncomfortable around the number 13. Why is this sum so terrifying exactly? There were 13 guests at the Last Supper. Many people believe that this is where the superstition regarding the number 13 began. Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed Jesus, arrived 13th. Similarly, in Norse mythology, a table with 13 chairs was considered highly unlucky. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this video and would like to see more like this one. Globophobia. The fear of clowns is no joke. An unreasonable aversion to clowns can induce panic and nausea. Clown fear is very uncommon, yet many people find them unsettling, if not outright frightening. Why? To some extent, this can be explained by the presence of villainous clowns in the media, like Pennywise from It by Stephen King. Clown phobia has real roots in our psyches. For starters, just looking at a clown's face paint might be frightening. It's a clever way to keep people's identities and emotions secret. Makeup can even cause a clown to send the wrong message if, for instance, he or she is frowning under a painted-on smile. Additionally, clowns are notoriously unpredictable and sneaky, both of which have an effect of increasing the tension in a crowd. It shouldn't come as a surprise that a 2016 poll indicated that Americans were more terrified of clowns than they were of terrorist attacks or death. The fear of clowns has hit a little too close to home if you ask me. Also, if you ask me, I would tell you that the best way to overcome your fears is to watch another one of our scary videos.